let's go over the skills first. Let's go through the mastery abilities. That will probably be the easiest. So first we have the Path of Dark Rites. We come up here to 9 and grab Khaine's Vigor. All group mates within 100 feet of you gradually regain 696 health over 9 seconds. You don't go for this until after you get your Path of Sacrifice abilities, which we'll go through next. But this is great for forts or like going into a fort, any sieges where you can't get up in the door, you can't go in through postern because you're just going to melt right away. You could spam Khaine's Vigor, right, and you have additional healing benefits for using Khaine's Embrace, which heals all your group mates within 100 feet of you, regain 426 health. You pop your Khaine's Vigor, and then you pop Soul Shielding to put up that barrier for the group, and you can just keep casting these. You don't have a Chalice, but you will be able to use Blood Offering to regain 30 soul essence every second. And I found that it's only a 10-second cooldown, and once I run out of soul essence group casting these, typically Blood Offering is back up again, so there's no problem with that. Now, like I said, this is the last 10 points you want to use. You first want to go, you skip the Path of Torture, Path of Sacrifice. You really want to pump all the way up to this level 13 and pick up Khaine's Encouragement. This is fantastic because when you strike your enemy, you put up a barrier on an ally. Now, when I'm playing in warbands, I don't have anyone selected because you're in the front line. You're clashing. You don't want to be right in the center, taking all that melee damage. You want to be on the edges, play kind of like a blackguard, right? A blackguard with two-handed weapon is kind of relying on staying on the sidelines when you engage, so you don't take the brunt of the force since you have to rely on parry. Think of the DoK, the shield DoK, the same way. You want to be on kind of the side. You don't want to push in the center because you're going to take too much damage, and you don't want to have anyone selected because you want your bonus buffs and bonus healings to heal yourself first and then heal your group. Otherwise, you're going to go down, and like they say, a DPS who's dead can't do DPS. Same as a shield DoK who's dead can't do any healing. So you don't target anyone when you engage, and when you engage, you'll want to hit, you're going to hit your warding strike, which I'll go over next, and then hit Khaine's Encouragement so that you gain that barrier on yourself. And then your next casted healing ability is increased by 35% for 15 seconds. I just combine that with Khaine's Vigor, right? Do your instant cast, heal your entire group for 696 health over 9 seconds. That's improved. Or you can do your Khaine's Embrace, right? Pick one of those. You get increased heal on that. It's fantastic. You also want to grab these two tactics. These two tactics are kind of required for shield DoK. You can't really become a shield DoK until you have enough of your mastery points to pick up these talents. So Empowered Transfer increases the base heal of Transfer Essence and Consume Essence and Khaine's Force by 50%. And Ren's Soul will now heal your allied target for 238 health per tick. This is a huge increase to your healing as a shield DoK, and you can't really heal the shield DoK until you get this. So 11 levels into Path of Sacrifice and then 1 point into this. This should probably be your first tactic that you pick up through the Master Tree. And then you'll also want to pick up Gift of Khaine. Khaine's Force now additionally heals allies for 101 over 3 seconds. That doesn't sound like much, but it adds a significant amount when you're casting Khaine's Force, right? Why give up that extra 100 healing every second for 3 seconds? It's worth it. It's kind of misworded weird. It's 101 every tick for 3 seconds is what I've seen. So extra 300 health, it adds up. It all adds up in the course of a fight. So that's kind of the mastery build here. The first steps is I can respecialize real quick. So as you're leveling, you just want to, you're not going to be doing Path of Sacrifice, right? You're going to do Path of Dark Rites until you're high enough level to be able to go up here and get this tactic. Once you can get this tactic, you can pick up shield dock and begin shield docking. The second thing I'd do is to pick up the Gift of Khaine, and then I'd go up to the top and grab Khaine's Encouragement. Then I'd switch over to Path of Dark Rites, go up and select my Khaine's Vigor, and now you're going to have some extra points. If you're level, Renown rank 60 plus, you're going to have 2 extra points. I just pop them into here, so I get the bigger heals on the Khaine's Force, on the Transfer Essence, and the Consume Essence. So that's that there. That's easy. The other 2 tactics you're going to get. So you got these 2 tactics. You're also going to use the tactics Potent Covenants. Increases the chance for your covenants to trigger by additional 15%. As a shield doc, you're not just a healer, you're a big support character. So if you run this chance to trigger your covenant by additional 15%, you're also going to be running this Covenant of Celerity. Although you don't have any points into this Path of Torture, which increases the damage of Covenant of Celerity, you're not running it for the damage. You're really running it for the cripple, right? If you have a 35% chance to cripple an enemy, your entire group has a 35% chance to cripple anyone that they smack, reducing their run speed by 20%. That's huge. Slowing enemies is always one of the biggest things you could do. They say shamans have to take their puddle mastery because it's just big. You keep people from escaping, and you keep people from charging in and getting to your back line, because you are part of the front line as a shield doc. So Potent Covenants, you have your Gift of Khaine and Power Transfer. The last one is Transferred Focus. Consume Essence and Transfer Essence are now undefendable, which is amazing, right? As soon as you hit 40, everyone's parrying, everyone's defending, dodging, not getting hit by your attacks, which means you're not healing. You have to have this on so that your primarily Transfer Essence, which heals your group, is hitting. So even they can't defend it. You're not doing much damage, but you're doing a ton of healing, and you're hitting guaranteed health for your group mates every time. So for the morales, right, I have Life's End. For 10 seconds, you allow your group mates within 100 feet instead of yourself to feast on the life essence of your victim, healing everyone for 100% of the melee damage you deal. This is an extremely good group heal if you only have a morale 1. Your M2 is going to be the priority, but if you need a boost to your group healing and you have an M1 available, hit it. You hit this, and then you hit Ren's Soul, which is a channeled ability, and you're going to strike them 4 times over 3 seconds, and each strike is going to heal your entire group. You'll see 4 little red balls go out to your entire group, boosting them with health. So that's why I picked this Life's End. But you primarily want to save up for this Rampaging Siphon. You could be diving into a warband, your entire group goes down to about 5% health, and you hit this morale 2, it's going to hit everyone around you for 600 damage, and all that damage is healing for your group. So I've saved groups and warbands with that because it full heals them from like 5% health. It's nutty. This is the strongest healer morale, and I think most healers run this. The third morale, Divine Protection, I use it for not very much. Maybe on a fort push, right? Or if we're going into a keep and our group is going in, our tanks are hitting their M4s, I'm going to hit my M3 to help with that absorb initial damage going in. But that's really the only time I'll use my Morale 3. And Morale 4, I don't even use. Alter Fate, you're very rarely going to be able to use this. You're going to be in the front lines, right? One time, maybe 2 times, I've been the last man standing in a warband fight, but typically you're not going to last that long if you're losing. And I don't want to accidentally hit it. I'll throw it on there just to make people happy, but I take it off because sometimes I'm going to try and go into a fort or something, and I want to hit my Morale 3. I accidentally hit my Morale 4 because I have the keys close to them. And that's your morale abilities. Finally, I'll go over my Renown what I got for my Renown. The first thing you want to get for your Renown points is Defender 4. It increases your chance to block by a total of 10%. Block chance is huge, huge. When I get into my gear, I will go over my stats, and you'll see the defensives that we have. So Defender 4 is the first thing you want. The second thing you want is Futile Strikes. You want to go all the way to 4 with Futile Strikes. You do not want to be critically hit. That's your worst enemy here is burst damage. You have extremely good sustain for your entire group with the healing that you do, but you're limited by your 1.5 second global cooldown from your hits. Now, these Futile Strikes, if you're not getting any burst damage, which is a critical strike, you'll be able to heal through just about anything. And then finally, I had some extra points, so I started adding Def Defender to increase my my dodge and disrupt chance against casters. I don't have too much in parry. Not too worried about parry as much as we're worried about Defender here. That's the biggest thing. You could do parry instead of Def Defender, but I found the order has a lot of range damage. And I found, Def Defender to be a little bit better than parry. All right. Before I get into rotations and, how to actually put your skills to use in combat situations, let's go over my gear quick and my stats. So I'm running a little bit of a mixy set. I go full wounds with the talismans. As you can see, I've got 9k health here. This is my pre-Sov set. So you can get all this stuff by the time you don't even have to do the Bloodlord stuff, Bastion Stairs. You just need to do BB for a couple Sentinel pieces, and then Veil Walker. To get your Veil Walker gear, you have to do the Beast Lord quests, and then you do Hunter's Veil, and you get the Veil Walker armor set. A little bit hard to get groups for that, but it's 100% worth it. This is going to be your pre-best in slot. Helm, Sentinel, Gorget. I'm running it because it has 2% block. And of course, I put a 24 wounds talismans in there, like I said. This combined with the Sentinel Blood Chain gives you an additional 58 strength. Your healing from your skills actually scales off of strength, so that's a boost. You don't want to focus on strength, but anywhere you can get a little bit additional strength and a little bit additional block, you do it, which is why I picked the Sentinel Helm to put in here for that 2% block chance. Next, the rest of it's going to be Veil Walker, right? The Veil Walker shoulders, you get that 3% parry, you get a bunch of wounds. Sacred Stag Hide is also from the Hunter's Veil, and I'm using this because of the strength and wounds bonus that you get. 1% melee crit chance is fine, but you get all the strength, all the wounds, and you have a talisman slot to add additional wounds. This is huge. I found the stats just to be super helpful in staying alive. Next, the Veil Walker breast scale plate. You get that 3% block. We're going for all block. You'll see in the stats when we get to it. Veil Walker arm scales just to increase the piece bonus set, right? Same with the belt here. Nothing super great on this. You get the reduced armor penetration, but you're increasing your set bonus. Then finally, the Veil Walker Blood Wades. You get that extra 3% dodge. That's big. I'm running the Spicy Troll Mushroom for the extra 80 hit points per second, and the Dar Shards for the AP per second. But AP isn't too much of a worry. I've done an entire scenario where we fought the entire time and nobody died, and I didn't run out of AP. So you could switch this out for your Book of Boom if you want to get that Renown boost. Then I'm using the Sentry's Pain Blade of Anthema, and that's for the reduced armor penetration, reduction in being critically hit, and because there's so much wounds on this thing, with a talisman that got 54 wounds, that's huge. Move over to the shield. I'm using the Sentry's Blood Ward of Anthema, right? 2% block chance, 3% disrupt, 2% reduction in being critically hit. Such huge bonuses on this shield. Then Rough Gunbad Diamond. This is best in slot because of the 2% block. I think this is the only jewelry that you can get that has block on a healer. Then the Genesis Remnant of the Warrior. Just running this because the 24 strength, 24 wounds is just a good boost to both those stats. You use both of them. Then Sentinel Bloodchain, right? We're getting that 2-piece bonus set, and we're able to use a 6% block talisman in here. If you're watching this guide, more advanced, I don't have to explain how to get the talisman, but you definitely want the 6% block in here. That's so big. The next piece is Veilwalker Blood Coil, 24 strength. Weapon skill, kind of okay, but we're just throwing it on there to make sure we have the 6-piece bonus set. On being hit, 10% chance to heal group for 640 over 9 seconds. This happens a lot. You're being hit the entire time because you're a shield DoK. You're in the middle of the fight. This 6-piece bonus is constantly proccing. You're just putting out so much heals as a shield DoK. I highly suggest go into PvE, get your Veilwalker set. And that's really the gear. And the stats that it's given me, I have over 900 wounds, strength 520, which is plenty to get those heals out to your group. Go here to my defense stats, and without any buff, I'm at 33.8% chance to block right now. When I use my warding strike, which should be the first skill you use, and then use it again every 14 seconds, it comes off in 15 seconds, but you don't want it to come off. So it adds 10% chance to block. That's huge. I'm up to 43.8% chance to block whenever I'm in combat, which is amazing for a healer. There's so much survivability there. That with the parry, the dodge, the disrupt you have from your gear. You can see my melee stuff isn't that critical hit bonus. It's not much. You're not really going to be doing much critical hits. It's not really necessary to do healing. All this DPS stuff, you don't care about that. You're a healer. Magic. My magic is trash, but you don't really care about that too much. You do plenty of additional group healing with your Khaine's Vigor and Khaine's Embrace, excuse me. What else? Let's get into the skills that I use. So you're in a warband, you're engaging. The first thing you want to use is your warding strike. As soon as you hit them, it'll do, a little bit of damage, but it'll reduce their chance to parry, which is fantastic for when you're trying to hit with your Khaine's Force. And it'll also increase your chance to block by 10%. I just talked about. You have to keep that up for the entire fight. That's such a big skill. Then, you're mostly going through a rotation of smacking Khaine's Force once, because it requires 80 Soul Essence, and then you use Transfer Essence 3 times to build 90 Soul Essence. So you're always in that Soul Essence. You're never in a deficit of Soul Essence because you're gaining more than you're using with Khaine's Force. Khaine's Force, you also don't want to spam that because of your tactic Gift of Khaine. So for the next 3 seconds after you cast it, you're doing additional healing. And if you try to spam Khaine's Force, you're going to run out of Soul Essence and you're going to be overriding that additional 300 healing. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. So your main rotation, 1 Khaine's Force, 3 Transfer Essence, and rinse and repeat. Now, like I said before, you're not usually going to have someone targeted. If someone's going down and they're single being targeted, you can select them and use your Rend Soul skill. This will repeatedly assault an enemy. You strike at them 4 times over 3 seconds, and you heal your defensive target for 350% of the damage that was dealt, which is like a big burst heal. But typically, the reason why I don't select someone else is the main time I'm going to need a burst heal is if I myself is being targeted. I don't want to have to take the time to click off or select my name to be able to burst heal myself. So I rely on healing my group and my warband. Khaine's Force now heals your warband within 20 feet of whoever your friendly target is, where if it's yourself and you're in the middle of the fight, you're going to be hitting the most amount of people in your warband. So 1 hit of Khaine's Force, 3 hits Transfer Essence. When you need to burst heal yourself, use your Ren Soul. If someone is targeting you, you can also hit your Khaine's Encouragement, which we picked up. You put a 1,400 damage barrier on yourself, and then you can cast, your group heal to have a boosted heal right after that, and then right back into your rotation. Making sure you keep this warding strike up at all times, and that's really it. If you have someone you're chasing, someone's running away from you, you have your Covenant of Celerity up at all time. You can use this Fist of Khaine because you could cast it while running. It's great to catch people who are running because you could stay in distance and you just spam this Fist of Khaine. And there's a high chance, you have 35% chance you're going to cripple them, slow them down, so the rest of your warband can catch up to them. When you need to, you can use Terrifying Vision. You're only going to be single targeting someone, so if you have a whole group of people targeting you, you can use your detaunt, and only the person that you're smacking is going to really be doing damage to you. Another thing you can do is run up to their healer, use Consume Thought to silence the healer for 4 seconds. Allows you to really target people in small scale battles. There's just so much utility with this shield DoK. If you love DPS and you want to try out the healing world, the shield DoK is the way to do it, because you're still getting in there, you're still smacking them, doing damage, and healing your group at the same time. And that's really it. That's the update to the build. I wanted to make sure I got this out because of the changes to the tactics I'm using. No longer using the tactics that increase your damage because it's not worth it. You're cutting your healing in half, a huge detriment. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy the DoK even more. Try out the Shield DoK spec. Have a great week.
Fantastic.